those goggles?
Uh-huh. Oh, Jesus! And this is the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, also known as motor neurone disease in the UK.
Hi, I'm Excess of the Undead.
Hi, I'm the Pursuer.
Hi, I'm Zombie Gwen, and this is my second attempt at the Ice Bucket Challenge, because the first one wasn't caught on camera.
I'd like to dedicate this to Stephen Hawking, that has actually got motor neurone disease and has shown that you can achieve great things through massive adversity. Stop it! Oh my God!
I'm really kind of terrified.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Tin Plated. I'm Sean.
I'm Rob, and this is Tin Plated Talks, episode 23.
Skidoo! 23 Skidoo? Nothing?
Thank you, Arnold's granddad.
Hail Eris.
Right.
All hail Discordia.
So
2 + 3 = 5. It's a sign of the Illuminati. Nothing? Okay.
So, we're going to get right in there. We've had this post a couple of times, but whoever it is, their post keeps disappearing. I just remember it because I see it and go, we're going to get to answer that. And then when it's time to answer it, it's gone. So whoever it is, real sorry. But somebody asked about our favorite mixed drink and alcoholic beverage.
I think best straight up alcoholic beverage, I like a good dark, heavy beer. Something like Guinness or milk stouts. Favorite mixed drink? Well, I guess if we're being a little more general with the mixed drink term, Red Robin actually does this thing where they do a, what was it?
It's a milkshake made with Guinness.
No, not that one. The milkshake made with, St. Brennan's is the brand I drink. Bailey's!
Bailey's.
It's a Bailey's milkshake, and that's delicious. If we're saying that doesn't count, then my favorite mixed drink is called a Malibu Barbie. It's Mountain Dew and coconut rum. I think it's better with off-brand Mountain Dew, though. The Walmart brand works very well.
Gotcha. My favorite alcoholic beverage is a bourbon and tonic. And my favorite mixed drink is actually one of my own invention called Summer Whiskey. Bonus points to anybody who knows what it's named after.
Whiskey and the hottest month of the year.
Summer's not a month. It's a season.
Maybe by your fancy modern calendars.
And no, it's actually from a show. But it's one of my own creation. As a matter of fact, on that same note, I'm working on, and we're going to have soon, a new segment called Cocktail Minute, where I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some cool drinks I've been coming up with. So you can look forward to that.
Yep. We're not sure when exactly. We've got most of the stuff we need to do it. It's just a matter of finding time, and I'm going to try to check out a camera from my college to film it on something that is a little better than a Logitech webcam or a fucking cracked Samsung tablet.
So,
moving on to the questions we got from Facebook. We're going to go ahead and hit those first. Peanut has a few for us again. First question. With dozens of catastrophic calamities hanging over the human race, mass coronal ejections, asteroid collisions, gray goo, volcanic winter, war, etc., etc., and unless we leave the Earth, in a few billion years our days are numbered anyway. What do you think will actually cause the end of the human race, and when do you think it's likely to occur? Well, apparently it's not my fucking apocalypse plan. Guys, your fucking statistics and your horse shit. Keep with the spirit of my world-ending doom. No, you continue nitpicking. I would be disappointed in you if you didn't.
I think it's going to be, we are going to lifestyle ourselves out of, existence. If you look at every type of birth defect is on the rise, it's like 1 in 60 kids is autistic these days. It's like 1 in 62 is somewhere on the spectrum. But then there's all sorts of things that we're seeing, and I believe it's from all the chemicals we're introduced to. I think there's just too much poison in our food and water and our air. And I think even at the best of like the Clean Water Act and things like that, it doesn't stop all the chemicals we eat, all the processed food, all the over-the-counter medications we stuff ourselves with that are not good for us. And I think that's slowly going to just wear us down.
I think that's hurting us, but I don't think it'll kill us. I think humanity is too resilient for that. I think we will manage to get off of this planet before the sun expands and consumes us. I think the end of the human race will be the end of resources within our physically accessible distance. I think we'll get to other solar systems and we'll eventually run out of stuff we can get there, but I think there's a very real chance humanity, the definition of which will change over time, because I think transhumanity will eventually take over, and what is human will have to broaden itself as we start changing ourselves using the science and technology we have. I think there's a good chance that humanity can live until the end of everything.
Wow.
Like fucking cockroaches.
Optimistic. Peanut also asked, if you could go back in time and uninvent or undiscover something, denying humanity its use or discovery for eternity, what would you choose? It can be as simple as the paperclip or as complex as an entire branch of science.
This is a rough one because I'm generally yay progress even when it has bad consequences. In general, there is no such thing as a wicked discovery. You might discover it through wicked means, and you might do wicked things with it, but technology and science are morally neutral, so it's hard to think, what would I remove?
Well, for me, it's hard to say what the domino effect is. If I remove this, what goes with it, but...
Yeah, if you take bronze away, fuck humanity.
Yeah. With the exception, I mean, obviously we're on YouTube, which makes this hard, but I'd like to see a severe reduction in social media. I think Facebook and Twitter and the arrogance and self-centeredness that they both breed and also, allow to propagate is something we don't need. The fact that people like Kim Kardashian can be celebrities because she got fucked by a C-list rapper. And I don't just mean Kanye. It was Ray J before him. And suddenly everybody thinks she's relevant? Well, no, she's not. These sort of celebutantes that only exist because of social media and the attitude. I see this on Facebook all the time, and it makes me so angry I can't fucking see. And it's when people make these public statements like they're relevant or they're celebrities or anybody gives a fuck. Like, I'll see people say, I've accepted a position, and it'll be like at a Wendy's or some shit. And I'm like, you haven't accepted shit. You accept a position on the board of directors of a company. You get a job at anything less than that. Or they make these grandiose announcements thanking people or, saying, stay out of my business. And I'm like...
800 identical baby pictures.
All of this sort of making they say it like it's a fucking press release. And that to me is garbage, and it makes you a bad person. I get it. Nobody gives a fuck about my day-to-day life. That's why I typically don't post about it on Facebook. Usually, I post...
Except people keep asking about our day-to-day lives. So apparently they do. I think we're becoming part of the problem.
No, when people ask us, we answer. And that's in this context. In my personal life, on my Facebook, most of what I post is interesting news articles or things that I find funny. It's never like... Your attention, please. I'd like to make this announcement to the media.
Yeah.
Because that's not me. I'm not that important. I never will be. And I think when people need to remember that none of you are either. We are all just people. We're not, celebrities. We're not famous. We're just people trying to go through our lives.
Fair enough. Mine's a lot less dramatic. Not controllers in general. Wireless controllers. I fucking hate them. I have hated them since the goddamn NES with the shitty fucking infrared ones. Because they never fucking worked. And I get the new ones work a hell of a lot better. But you know what I've never done? I've never had the batteries die on me in a wired controller. I've never had the controller active and lost the fucker. Because I keep my controllers plugged into the system where they don't get lost. Bullshit.
Reasonable.
I mean, you making your big fancy social statements and I bitching about fucking wireless video games.
You know
make
why
me feel like a shithead.
You know why I liked the first wireless controller I ever really used? It was the Wavebird for the GameCube, and it was because it was considerably bigger than most GameCube controllers,
Yeah,
so
it was.
fit my hand better.
That's why I liked the original Xbox controllers, those big-ass fuckers.
Yeah.
I liked them.
I got big hands. So, when the Wavebird came along, there was something to get a hold of. I was about it.
Mine are huge, but I guess I just liked it better. I like to have something big in my hands.
Gentlemen.
Peanut's third question. It is said that ignorance is bliss. Would you drop IQ points to become blissfully happy? You don't have to go full retard, but your new level of idiocy, you never go full retard, by the way, would be someone who the current you would find incredibly annoying due to their level of stupidity. No,
we have
absolutely not. Not doing it.
We have a word for that kind of people. We call them twitty. And no. If anyone compared me to that, I would do them violence.
No, I would not give up intelligence for happiness.
Nope, sure wouldn't.
You can still find happiness when you're intelligent. Just because you're too stupid to realize things suck, no, that's not a valid trade. You can't undumb yourself most of the time.
Well, and, my thing is, I'm not all that smart. I do okay, I guess. I think I read more than average, but I wouldn't drop IQ points because I don't have any to spare. And beyond that, if you're smart, you can solve problems, Okay, I'm not super happy all the time, but when I have an issue, I can fix it. When you're stupid, you're just kind of stuck.
No. Peanut's final question. He thought he could be tricky. Oh no, we've thought about this. We're trickier than you.
Not a chance.
If you were given the opportunity to have all of Superman's powers, but none of his weaknesses, but each week they ran out, and the only way you could regain these powers is if the New England Patriots ran a train on your tight white ass. Would you keep regaining those powers? Can't keep rewinding the week or make time go backwards like you did in the Reeves film or any other time manipulation Superman might be capable of. And then this is where we decided we had to fuck him.
Yep, stepped over the line on this one, Peanut.
In parentheses, I've watched for a while now and know of your loophole finding tactics.
Now,
motherfucker,
now,
there are
Sean,
several loopholes.
Let me begin, Sean, with saying this. You're going to give me Superman's powers. Now, let's assume all of them and none of his weaknesses. I am God. Let's be honest.
Yes.
I am Superman at his best. I am God. And so on Monday, let's say the week starts on Monday, and on Sunday I have to get that train delivered, presumably before or after the game. On Monday, I'm flying up to the Patriots, practice field. I'm going to go, listen, boys, come Sunday, I'm coming back. And I'm going to explain to them what's going to happen, what they need to do. And I'm going to tell them, and you guys doing this will give me these godlike powers back. So, what sort of mood do you want me to be in when I get these powers back? The benevolent, appreciate that, glad you were being team players, no one has to die, or the, oh, by the way, I've decapitated all of your families, all of your friends, and now I get to rape all of you. That's my answer. I'll butt fuck them with an iron rod.
Ignoring that loophole, here's another one.
Fear is the ultimate loophole.
You realize, well, the number is a bit of an issue, and some of the Patriots are not exactly handsome gentlemen. This might not be as big of a threat to me as it might be to other people. I mean, a football team is A lot of people, don't get me wrong.
Man, this is a professional team. If he's counting everybody, not just including the string, you wouldn't survive.
No, it'll be fine. Amyl nitrates, man.
Still.
Here's another loophole.
The STDs alone.
Here's another loophole. I got a week of godlike powers, right? I will buy the fucking New England Patriots, and it will be the most mincing, fragile, small-dicked motherfuckers on the planet. And they will remain in the NFL because I will use my powers like an evil, wicked god king to make this happen. And loophole number 3, who says I have to have this train done before the powers run out? I like to think there ain't shit that the biggest fucking linebacker in the NFL could do to Superman. He'd sit there reading the book and say, is it in yet? So, yes, Peanut, I would keep regaining those powers. And that'll be a lesson to you about loopholing us. We will always find more loopholes.
See, I'd like to think under my threat, the Patriots would come up, shake my hand, tell me to have a nice day, and be done. And we'd go, all right, I'm powered up. You guys keep on keeping on. Don't fuck with me. Now, Lee from Facebook. We're just going to give Lee. We don't know if he wants his last name out there. So, it says, hey guys, if you could be any mythological creature, what would you be, and what would be the first thing you do as said creature?
I would be a unicorn and rape virgin women. That's one of what they actually did in the myths, man. Y'all should stop thinking unicorns are cute. That shit's fucked up.
Is that a real option? Because
I think I'd go with a djinn.
Now let me ask you, when they say mythical creature, how high up the chain do we get to go? Is Zeus a mythological creature?
I think calling a god a creature is disingenuous. I think that's a step too far.
I would pick a Naga, and then I'd go to the local Indian restaurant and be right there at home culturally. Now, you might wonder why I mentioned that. There's this Indian joint, right? And it's the best food I've ever tasted.
Oh.
I'm not exaggerating. I'm not joking. I'm telling you the straight goods. It's the best meal I've had in a calendar year or more. Frankly, I can only remember 1 year back. We went there the other night, and I was ashamed. I was ashamed of two things. One, the way I was dressed. I was in shorts and a T-shirt. Underdressed for the occasion. And that I didn't know the culturally appropriate way to eat their food.
Yeah.
It deserved to be eaten the proper way.
We got home from the Indian restaurant yesterday, and we actually went on YouTube and did some Googling to find out the correct, culturally appropriate way to eat Indian food.
And we were so fucking close. We
just about had it.
Like the menu doesn't even tell you to order naan, but we just somehow knew we needed naan.
Yeah.
And the only thing we did wrong is instead of doing the pinch, we used a fork to put it on the naan.
Savages.
We were so close.
We're wearing polos because we actually went back there tonight to put out a better showing, to eat the food a little bit more properly, to dress a little less like savages.
And frankly, it was me and Sean and a couple of our friends, and Sean's wife Amy wasn't able to go with us. So we came home and laid down the fucking law and told her how it would be, and she didn't believe us. Mm-hmm. She thought either we were fucking with her or we were exaggerating or...
The most polite and attentive service. They thanked us for the privilege of refilling our drinks.
And she didn't believe us. And I told her, please believe me. This is a place you need in your life.
If any of you are ever in Chattanooga, go to the India Mahal restaurant on Brainerd Road. Eat there. You're welcome.
And you know what? For some comparison, Sean here, the poor young man, has never really had much luck with eating out. He eats a meal and he comes home and it punishes him.
Yeah.
It punishes him something fierce.
Pretty much any restaurant I go to blows my digestive system to pieces.
Sean, you've eaten Indian food 2 days in a row now.
Mm-hmm.
How's your stomach feel?
I feel perfectly fine.
You're damn right you do.
The slightest bit gassy.
It's normal.
Yep, no problem.
That's right. And you know what? That's what it's about. We're dressed like this because we just got back from the best restaurant we've ever eaten at.
Mm-hmm. We dropped money we really shouldn't have spent because That food was so fucking good. Seriously, India Mahal, Brainerd Road, Chattanooga,
you know what?
Tennessee. Take a trip.
I can't speak for every Indian restaurant. It's like, can't speak for every anything. But every Indian restaurant I've ever been to has had three things in common. They feed you a good amount, the price is reasonable, and they are so fucking clean. There's one, it's down by the University of Alabama. We had trivia tournaments down there in college, and we would go eat there. It was so fucking clean that I would eat off the floor. And I don't mean like they could set the plate on the floor and I just sit down and go to work. I mean, they could have ladled it out on the tile, and I'd have been fine. That's how clean this place was.
So there you go, Lee. Somehow that's an answer to your question. Indian food. I think we'd turn into Indian food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, on to the YouTube questions.
God, Indian food. No.
I Like to Shoot Zombies asks, favorite version of angels from any work of fiction?
See, I think this is a great question because you have the both like cultural depictions.
Yeah.
Because, something that is really interesting and kind of depictions of Christian concepts in Japanese culture. It's always kind of weird because they do.
I didn't even consider the angels from Evangelion. Damn.
Well, I mean, they just don't fully understand angels in the European Christian context, but they put it in the best frame of reference they can, and it always comes out really weird. Angels and demons both, when portrayed from a Japanese perspective.
Demons they usually get because they're like, oh, they're Akuma. All right, we can deal with that.
Well, they get closer with the Akuma, but, our demons aren't always quite as hulking barbarians as theirs are, but angels especially, they just do not get a handle on.
Well, let me think. Angels have been done really interestingly in Supernatural, where they're almost worse bad guys than the demons. So I think that's been very, very cool. Castiel, I think, is a little bit too... I like the way Misha portrays him as being just so fucking stone-faced. And nothing ever really seems to get to him, and he's got to growl everything because it's so very important. That's interesting, but kind of wooden. But all the other angels, the ones that they're sort of squabbling with, I think the interesting combination of what powers they have and don't, what weaknesses, the whole draw the symbol on the wall in human blood, and they're fucked off. It's really cool. I think I'm going to go with that one. Although they've also been really cool in... I think I can mention that there are angels in this series without it technically being a spoiler. Dresden Files.
That's the one I was going to go with, actually.
Yeah.
The way Dresden Files does them, because everything fits within the Never Never, and so angels are just another level of mystical being like fairies or Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And the way they portray them as being like, you don't want them to show up. It doesn't matter who you are, what side you're on.
Unless you're a Knight of the Cross.
Yeah, that's about the only time.
Then you can go.
Yeah, if you're anybody else and they show up,
Or,
yeah, anybody else hit the fucking deck and pray that they leave. I also liked how they were done in Constantine.
I haven't seen Constantine.
The main angel is done with this. It's a male angel. It's Michael, the Archangel Michael.
Well,
but played by a woman. But a woman, they did the chest binder. They made them so very gender neutral, as it's like, it's a woman for the actress playing, and the angel's a male. But just that line that they walk as to your human concepts of what they should look like and act like and sound like don't apply. And it
cool.
starts with what you think of as gender.
Cool. Harry Drake asks, Pacino or De Niro?
De Niro.
Pacino.
Well, De Niro before Meet the Fockers.
Okay, if we can take his later career out, De Niro is at least a runner again. But I like Pacino's... He's the more high-energy one. He's got that more kind of thing. I think he can be a little too much sometimes.
See, that's my thing with Pacino, is he's like dynamite. De Niro can smolder. De Niro can brood.
I have to say Pacino, devil's advocate.
And that, Okay, that's a solid one.
He's the best devil I have ever seen.
The best devil I have ever seen.
Well, I mean the devil in what was that fucking show where the guy works at the home improvement store?
That's the one I was thinking of. Thank you.
What's that? Kevin Smith produced it, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
What was it fucking called?
It had the texture was like red writing. It was kind of burned. And
Reaper.
Reaper
Yeah,
had the best devil.
I'm the devil.
Like that actor does the best devil ever.
Yes.
He does.
Although the best portrayal of the devil in fiction I've ever seen, not just television. There's a role-playing game that's a satire of how people think role-playing games are for people who worship the devil. It's called Kill Puppies for Satan. The name must be written in all caps and no punctuation. And what it is you play poser teenage wannabe Satanists, but not real Satanists, because if they actually started doing real effective evil, the demons would complain that that's a union job and they'd kill them off. So instead you're doing around and doing petty things like killing puppies, pissing an old lady's milk.
Can I just say that I find killing puppies to be way beyond petty evil? That is ass-kicking evil.
You're just doing this obnoxious, shit-headed, pimple-faced assholery. And it says that one of the things you can do once you accumulate a certain number of evil points is call the devil, and he will return the call. He'll probably be busy, but he always returns his voicemail. And it says when you're playing the devil, nothing should ever upset the devil. There is nothing that the mortal world can cause him that could be any worse than what he goes through on a day-to-day basis.
You know, and I think that was, going back to Reaper, the reason that I liked the way the guy portrayed it is, on the surface, it was just this, I'm here to have a good time, fuck
Jovial.
everybody, yeah. But he was also the jailer for these damned souls. It was not, I'm here to cause evil, it's, these fuckers are evil, and I'm here to torture the balls off of them. And at that point, you're kind of going, I get what you're saying, Satan, and I'm picking up what you're laying down. Fuck them.
Yep.
And then the character, as the show went on, added this depth where he was so deeply heartbroken and remorseful at being removed from the presence of God.
Yeah.
It was like,
I always took the interpretation that Lucifer, Satan, whatever, wasn't a villain. He was a tragic figure, because if you go by most interpretations, angels don't have free will. If he rebelled, it's because God wanted him to. He had no choice but to rebel and be damned and forever cursed from his creator's presence, to feel that pain and absence in a way we humans never could understand. That's fucked up, yo.
Well, and if you look at the original, the Il Satin in the Hebrew for where Satan comes from, it means a prosecutor. Basically, it's when your soul was to be judged. The Messiah would speak. He's done all these good works, and then there's this dude in the back going, "Now hold up!
He kicked the puppy!
Just a minute, if I might." Flip. March 2nd. 502 AD. He raped a woman. Closes the book, walks out of the courtroom. That's it.
Yep.
That was the guy's job. And then it got morphed over the years to this evil monster. His whole job is there to catch you doing bad shit and call you out for it.
Yep.
We call that the police.
John asks us, which country's mythology do you guys find most interesting, provided that you've heard of more than the traditional Greco-Roman, Egyptian, and Norse? If not, then which mythology you guys found the most interesting badass?
You know who has an interesting one? And this came up in a trivia tournament of mine.
Well?
The Maori have an interesting one. And the question was, and this is something that happens in competitive trivia, and it's when the given answer fits perfectly at the time you buzzed into the question, but is so very far removed. One good example is the question starts, a slogan for this company or for this whatever said this side up when baby is sleeping. And somebody buzzed in at this side up, and they said 7-Up, which 7-Up actually had a marketing campaign that was this side up. The answer to the question was sudden infant death syndrome. Well, you see, yes.
Beverage.
SIDS.
Tragic illness.
Yes. One of these that befell myself was the creation myth.
7-Up, right? Not SIDS?
No, this is another question. It was the creation myth for the Maori. And it said, both the Maori and some other culture use this act for the creation of their home. And I buzzed in because the other one was Chinese. Some like tiny village in China that I just heard of. And they do have a myth related to my answer, but I got them mixed up. I said circumcision. In the Chinese myth, circumcision is where people come from, not the land. The answer was fishing.
Fishing.
Yes. Given answer, circumcision. Correct answer, fishing.
As for which mythology I like best, honestly, I'm not big into mythology. I know a lot of the names. I know some of the stories. Just the boring little Greco-Roman stuff. I know a lot of the names in Egyptian and Norse. I know the tiniest bit of old Shinto myths like Amaterasu and Otori.
Amaterasu, isn't that the guy that makes the swords?
The woman who is the sun. Well, I mean, woman being the kami are different that way. Honestly, I'm not big into mythology. Not really my thing. I can't really pick one.
You know who has a cool mythology? The little Pacific Islanders, the cargo cults.
Yeah.
During World War II, U.S. airmen would land on these little Pacific islands and repair their plane, whatever, take off, land, and they'd throw like some candy or some whatever scrap metal to these natives. Well, these fucking natives thought that was God. So they, all over their island, they build these wooden replicas of our airplanes, thinking that the gods are going to come back in their metal birds to deliver them, food and treats.
More tasty treats, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. They're called cargo cults.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
They're kick-ass.
Wasn't there that movie, The Gods Must Be Crazy?
Yeah, about the Coke bottle.
Yeah.
A Coke bottle gets thrown out of an airplane and lands in the sand next to this Amazon village.
African.
And it just blows their shit.
They actually got an actual African tribesman to act in that, and his name was like there's a fucking exclamation point in it. I have no idea how to pronounce it, even if I could remember it. But apparently they screwed him something fierce on what pay he got for that.
He got to keep the Coke bottle.
It was almost that bad. And I think they did a sequel, or he did a sequel, where he was, getting an actual portion of the movie, and it bombed horribly. So, just enjoy that bit of white people getting a little bit more out of the African landscape. Just scrape a little more. We can't actually enslave them anymore, but wage slavery's still a thing.
They're not slaves. They're student athletes.
Student athletes? Well, sir, I am impressed. John also asks, P.S. Rob, how'd your dad like Europa Universalis 4?
Liked it a lot. Got a little tired of some of the minutia bullshit. Much like myself, his answer is, if I want to go to war, then by God, stand out of my way. But
Casus belli, because I fucking feel like it.
Yeah. That's pretty much my dad's answer, my answer. But no, he likes it a lot. He's got a better grasp of history than I ever will. So, there you go.
Mick Digit says, question for next week that's a bit more serious, directed at Rob. Feel hurt. In your opinion, given your knowledge of history, if World War III were to happen in the next 5 to 10 years, which countries might be the catalyst for it?
Well, I've thought about this one a little, and here's how I see it. There's 3 big players right now. There's China, Russia, and America. Now, the reason I'm discounting the European Union is because taken independently, they aren't worth shit. England itself, get this, If England itself, GDP, was compared to the United States, they would come in. The only state they beat is Mississippi. They'd be 49th. Alabama, everybody's ahead of them. Tennessee, our home state, has a better GDP than Germany. No wonder Volkswagen came here. They were tired of slumming it in Deutschland. The fact is, Europe's old hat, not worth mentioning. Here's the deal, though. China, and people tend to have a very ethnocentric view of history. Europeans study Europe, Americans study America, and that's just, it's easier to have that grasp, that concept. It's more personal. For most of human history, China has been the global market. It's always had more people. It's always had more product.
Yeah.
Sometimes they were more cut off than others, but the bottom line is the average human is Chinese.
True.
They are the standard for what we are. And they're starting to swing back that pendulum into that position. The difference is, for the first time in human existence, there's this deterrent that says, look, fuck you, we can make you not exist. And that's these massive weapons that we have.
Yeah.
And that's where Russia comes into play. Russia, since its founding, has had this problem with being seen as backwards. The Russians have a word called konkulturi. It means uncultured. It's the worst thing you can call a Russian. It doesn't matter who they are, what they do, and the context. If you call them uncultured, they will drop what they are doing, and they will do their damnedest to beat your ass to death.
Culturally.
Physically. And
I'm saying they do it in a classy manner.
oh, no doubt.
Perhaps just from, this is how Dostoevsky would have punched you in the kidney. And by the way, Nabokov says hello.
And, or, more than likely, the uncultured ape would probably hit you with a vodka bottle. It's kind of what they're like. But they don't want you to mention that. Well, Russia's starting to come into their own. And America really doesn't want to let go of the reins of humanity. So I see those three as being the spark. And the catalyst most likely is going to be spheres of influence in the Middle East and Africa. South America. China's been expanding into South America and Africa in ways that we haven't seen since European colonialism. Russia has got its fingers all up in the Middle East,
No.
as do we. China has a vested interest in all that. And that's what I believe will be the spark.
Okay. And on a lighter note, McDigits asks, what's your favorite 90s Saturday morning cartoon?
Oh, holy shit, there's so many.
Animaniacs? I don't know why this is being thought about. Animaniacs.
Man, but there's so many. There's
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama.
I mean, Animaniacs is definitely a contender, although when I watched it, it was on the weekdays. It wasn't a Saturday morning cartoon for me.
Parumph. Still counts.
Hysteria was a great one. It was a show about historical accuracy, but there's so many good ones. I mean, there was a Mega Man cartoon that was solid. There was Shaman King was a Saturday morning cartoon for me. There's Street Sharks, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Pepper Ann was actually really good.
Pepper Ann, she's too cool for second grade.
Yeah, exactly.
She's
Fuck,
like
there's a
one
bunch
in a
of...
million.
Somebody else asked about Saturday morning cartoons. This makes me happy.
Recess was a big one.
Oh, shit, Recess was the tits!
There you go. So, Animaniacs, only correct answer, by the way. Hello, nurse.
Damn right. Benny the Astronaut asks, okay, here's a question for you guys. If you could live in any capital city in the world, which would you choose? And I mean the capitals of countries, not states or territories. You know why he's doing this? He thinks I don't know capitals.
No, he's saying you don't get to pick, like, fucking Sacramento or Detroit. Or, is Detroit or Lansing the capital?
Who the fuck picks Detroit?
I think Lansing's actually the capital of Michigan. Lansing's not bad.
Capital city. I'm going to pick Tokyo.
I'd live in London.
London's the other option I was considering, but no.
Yep.
I want to stride amongst my yellow brethren as a god. Just, aren't you all so cute?
Tall and bearded.
I'd be a hit with their ladies.
Tokyo's too crowded for me. I know London's not exactly sparsely populated, but London's also much more diverse.
Japanese
Tokyo
ladies?
is Tokyo is very, very monolithic.
That's why I'm gonna spread around some of that good Nordic seed.
Till the Yakuza decide that you're polluting their country and do something about it.
I don't want to lose a finger, but
Plus, London, more Indian food.
real talk there. Now, I will say this about London. I have a cousin who's half British, basically. Have I told
Half British?
his mom's from England?
Okay. I've just never heard anybody called half British before.
But have I told this story about when I took him out to the bars?
I know you've told me the story.
If y'all ever want to hear it, ask about the time I took my British cousin out to the bars. But anyway, he says that they will fuck the shirt off an American. Apparently, there's been kind of a testosterone drain in British men. I don't know. I guess they're just not seen as super masculine by the women of their country. And if you show up going, yeah, I'm from America, they'll jump you in a stairwell. It's not an exaggeration. He got jumped in a stairwell.
Huh.
Yeah. British chicks want that Yankee dick.
God save the Queen. Can I get my visa and my plane ticket now?
Right? I also want an English breakfast. Now, I will have a problem with their... See, I'll have rugby anywhere I go. Rugby's Japan, England, whatever.
Sure.
But I'm going to have a problem with them all calling it football when it's soccer. Going to be some bar fights between me and some Man U fans.
You'll adapt.
Probably. The banter guy asking literally every question.
First one, if your life depended on you successfully completing a Souls game, meaning every boss with a health bar at the bottom of the screen killed, all the way to New Game plus 6, which one would it be and why?
It would be death.
I'd take Dark Souls 2 because, in addition to the combat being the smoothest, none of the bosses were especially fuck you hard, and I could farm the little healing stones to really cheese dick my way through any of the bosses that toughed me too much.
I want a Viking funeral.
Although I hear the Demon Souls bosses are pretty much all, yeah, I got 1,000 grass, I'll be fine.
Hell, I managed to beat a couple of them on the first try, so it can't be much. No. Have either of you played Call of Duty Zombies? If so, which map or version was your favorite? Yes.
I played one of them. I was a guy with a Russian accent. I only played it once as a test for when I was working at a LAN center. I have no idea which one I was playing.
Black Ops is the one where you're in a prison.
I don't think I was in a prison. I was in like a dilapidated mansion. Maybe.
No, I like the one where you're in a prison, where Ray Liotta is one of the characters. But yeah,
it was fun. I liked it.
I think it's a great. You know what? I've said this before. I want to see a Call of, because we all remember when World War II shooters were the order of the day. I want to see the original Call of Duty where that Normandy landing with modern graphics. But I think for the whole shooter style, like especially what they do with Modern Warfare and Medal of Honor and all that, I think Zombies is the best thing they could ever do.
Yeah, Zombies is very good. Which of these movies do you think would be the scariest if it was remastered for the Oculus Rift? Grudge, Alien, the 1979 one. I didn't know there was another one. Or Paranormal Activity, the first one. I've never seen Paranormal Activity.
My answer is Paranormal Activity, and here's the reason. They're the only movies that have ever scared me. Well, okay, Paranormal Activities I adore. I've watched them all, but I don't sleep the nights after I watch them. I sit there with a gun next to me, staring at the walls, and waiting for the devil to come for me. But there was a time when there was a bunch of these Exorcist movies. There's one called The Last Exorcist, and I don't want to spoil too much of it, but it starts with this guy who's a con man. He does fake exorcisms. Well, me and my buddy Kevin were watching it, and at the beginning, we're like, fuck yeah, let's become fake exorcists. You'll get a white suit, I'll get a black suit. We'll double team the devil for top dollar. By the end of the movie, we were ducking behind our seats crying, I don't want to, I'm sorry, it wasn't a funny joke. I don't want to be an exorcist. Well, Paranormal Activity, they terrify me because it's the little things. It's how they all start out. Doors left open, creaks at night, shit like that.
Shit that everybody has to go through.
That happens to all of us.
Yeah.
And then it escalates. And to me, the first one is some of the best horror filmmaking ever made.
I think Alien would be scariest. Grudge was mostly just creepy and that...
Yeah, Japanese horror films don't translate well to Western audiences.
But Alien had such good atmosphere to
Yes.
it. It was such a good... That real hopeless feeling of, oh God, there's just one thing out there, but it has us so fucking outclassed. We're doomed.
Can you imagine being on the Nostromo, and with the orchestra where you can look around and hear the water dripping and look at the shadows above you and holy shit, that'd be...
Mm-hmm. I mean, they had H.R. Giger do the character design. Giger, actually, not Geiger. I did a paper on him for my theater class, oddly enough. Not that he's ever done anything for theater.
Have you ever played an AVP game? If so, which was your favorite and why? Personally, he loves AVP too. I've not. Sorry.
I will bet no one... Now it's the internet, so eventually someone will see this that has. I will bet you will have to do some looking to find someone who played my favorite Alien vs. Predator game. It was the one that came out for the Atari Jaguar, motherfuckers. How's that for obscure and old school? Hipster. But you played as... you were on this multi-level ship. If you were a Marine, you started in the middle of the ship and you were just trying to get off of the ship. Get the components together to get off the ship. If you were an alien, you started in the bottom of the ship and you were trying to get stuff at the top of the ship. I think you were trying to bring something back to the Queen, maybe. And if you were a Predator, you were starting at the top of the ship where you docked, and you were going to take that fucking Queen's skull and bring it home to Mama. And the different play fields. It was a first-person shooter.
Does curiosity, real quick. Do we know from the movies? I haven't seen many of them except the original Predator. Do we know much about their cultural hierarchy?
The Predators?
Yes.
What we do know is that there is indeed the hunting of other species is a rite of passage thing. You're not considered an adult until you have slain worthy foes. There seems to be some sort of prestige with being a hunter, that sort of thing. But I don't think we've ever actually seen their home planet.
See, that's what I would like to see. I'm kind of bored with the aliens.
Yeah.
I would love to see a visit to the Predator homeworld. Now, I'm sorry, you were saying?
If you were the Marine, you had your guns, your night vision goggles, your motion sensors, and everything was tougher and deadlier than you. You had your tech and your wits. And it'd get to that thing where beep, beep, and you're like, oh, shit. And all you can do is put your back against the wall and hope the pulse rifle will catch them. The aliens, you had infinite lives, actually, but you had to cocoon your enemies to do it, which was a little harder than just flat out killing them, and let a face hugger get to them. So you would just hatch as another one of the aliens, and you had sort of a checkpoint thing. Whereas the Predator started with his fucking claws, and I think he either had the spear gun to start with or eventually got it. And until you had earned enough honorable kills, which they were more honorable if you went to the corpse and ripped the head off, to earn the privilege of using your more advanced weaponry, and just the way it all
that little shoulder-mounted triangle thing?
Yeah.
I fucking love that
You
thing.
toggled through the different vision modes. There was one that was great for hunting humans, one that was great for hunting aliens, and one that was sort of halfway between the two, to split the difference. The biggest weakness that the Predators had against the aliens could sense electricity. Predator Cloak didn't work against aliens.
Ah.
Yeah. And that shit was fun. I'd love to see that remade with more modern stuff.
Nice.
I don't know why, but none of the other games have ever caught that feel. Banter Guy also asks, have you ever played an XCOM game? If so, what are your thoughts and opinions of the game? I played the XCOM, the new one. Not the new one, not the Bureau, but the other.
I have seen it played, and I'm interested in playing it, but I've never gotten a chance to.
It's turn-based. You'd hate it.
Oh.
But I thought it was fun. Very fun, good story advancement. I liked the whole balancing of things. And, you lost some of your nice, well-trained troops? Well, looks like you having some trouble there. You can get bent.
Huh. What's your favorite fighting game and or series of fighting games? Now, here's my question. Is Super Smash Brothers a fighting game or a party game?
I say it's a party game. It is my favorite if it's a fighting game. Otherwise, unfortunately, I think it's a party game, so I don't think it's valid.
If it is a fighting game, it is my favorite. Otherwise, I'm going to say Injustice.
Yep.
You too, huh?
Yep. I'm not a big fighting game fan. I guess the closest else I could get is I'm a fan of the WWE games.
Well, you know what? Fight Night.
Sort of fighting. That's a boxing
Or is that a sports game?
That's a sports game.
See, and that's where...
I would say WWE is neither a fighting game nor a sports game. It's a WWE game.
I don't like button mashers, which is why I like Super Smash Brothers. It's not a button masher. I mean, you can cheese dick a little with, like, Fox's pistol, but...
Pikachu!
Yeah.
Pikachu!
Yeah, that's some old bullshit. But on the whole, it's not like when you catch somebody in Mortal Kombat and you're just juggle kicking them.
Yeah.
And I hate button mashers, but...
And to the other side of fighting games, like Guilty Gear, the super complicated, ultra-precision timing, no, we have to play it on a CRT TV because the 3-millisecond... delay for an LCD television is crippling. Too much for me.
Yep.
Y'all have fun. I
Rich.
hear Guilty Gear's great. Not for me.
I played Guilty Gear. I found nothing rewarding in it.
Yeah.
Graphics aren't good. It's not especially fun. It's just there if you want to run the numbers.
It's there for people who want to master a fucking skill, which is also why I tend to get sick of MOBA games a lot. I want to play them because they're fun to play and kind of cool casual stuff, but everybody's just so fucking intense about League and Dota 2 and everything, and it... Chill the fuck out. You are not going to go triple diamond and be the next pro gamer flying over to Korea and dominating and making $100,000, but it's not going to be you. Chill the fuck out. If I want to play Vagar, I'm gonna. Dicks.
Well said.
Would you consider playing simulators if only for the hilarity that comes with most of them?
I'd like to play Goat Simulator.
There's a giveaway site that I constantly enter giveaways on, and I always enter any of the bullshit simulator games like Farming Simulator, Warehouse Logistics Simulator. If we ever get one, there's going to be a fucking video of it. I promise you that.
Farming Simulator will probably give me flashbacks.
We're not going to take it seriously. I'm telling you, if you guys are like, oh, they might play my favorite game. I know we got some German fans. Don't know why simulator games are so popular there? Cool. I love games where you're fiddling around with stupid bullshit, so for all I know, I'm going to get one and I'm going to be like, no, Rob, I have to buy 2 extra forklifts because it maximizes my pathfinding when I send the people out to do the shipments. And no, we contract with UPS for anything over 40 pounds.
He totally will, by the way.
But if I could get one of these really weird ones, oh, we're fucking doing it. Oh, yeah. Big rig truckers, yo.
Let's see. Worst high school experience. I nearly missed my own graduation. And I nearly caused my best friend to miss it. It's like this. We had rehearsal in the morning, graduation in the evening, right? Pretty common, I reckon. I was supposed to give my best friend a ride. We were going to go in the morning. It was going to be fine. I overslept.
Bum, bum, ba-dum.
I was supposed to be there at 8:30. I woke up at noon. We were told if you didn't make practice, you didn't walk. It's like, oh, fuck. So I put my best, like, scamming face on, right? Mm-hmm. Went down to the school, and I played the game. I had actually went to my garage, and I pulled out a busted car part.
Yeah.
And I tossed it in my trunk, and I drove to the school, and I got it out. And I used to be as far as I know, my record still stands, but a champion at DECA, and a big part of that is hypothetical extemporaneous presentations.
Aha.
I pulled this car part out and walked in, set it on the principal's desk, and said, "Sir, I'm mighty sorry I missed graduation. I hope you'll accept my sincere apology. My car died on the way. I just got done replacing the part. And there's the bad one." He looks at it, and he doesn't know what it is. Frankly, neither do I. And if he'd asked me, I'd have been fucked. But I was banking on him not knowing. He goes, "Oh, was it hard to replace?" Well, it took a few hours, sir. I'm real sorry. I got family flying in. I sure would appreciate it if I could walk. And he goes, "I think we can work something out." So I went dead last of my class. After the Bosnian chick whose name had 9 Z's in it, they called me. And my fucking cousins are up. We got a whole section. My cousins are losing their goddamn minds. My dad's got like an air horn. There's a banner. And I'm just like pimp walking the stage because everybody else gets rushed. Go, 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 go. I got all the time in the world. I'm the last one to go.
Wow.
Yeah. But my best friend nearly killed me. So, yeah.
My worst high school experience would probably be the time I got my tooth punched through my face. Ended up suing the guy for the hospital bill. And I was suspended for the heinous crime of being sucker punched in the face.
I'd like to hear this story.
It was after school, and I was heading up near my locker, ran into one of my friends, stopped to talk to him, and this guy from down the hall goes, "Oh, look at them, they're gonna kiss." Whatever. Kept on talking to my friend, and then I started heading over towards my locker. Well, the guy was standing towards my locker, and he thought I was walking towards him. And I get up to him, and I'm like, "Can I..." Wham! This tooth right here, he hit me such that this tooth went through my fucking cheek. There was a hole you could stick a pencil through.
You got your shit rocked.
My head snaps to the side like that, off button time. I'm spraying blood, and he runs. I get taken down to the nurse's office. She packs my mouth full of gauze. My mom comes and gets me. Didn't drive home because I was still there. What happened? What happened?
Somebody find the boss that hit him.
Go to the hospital, get stitches. Go to school the next day. Get called to the principal's office, and get told that I've been suspended for fighting. I'm like, what? What fighting? I got punched.
Assault is not a fight.
And I say, well, we have a zero tolerance policies are the biggest fucking failure of Western society.
Amen.
Be it in fucking schools, in prisons,
Amen.
in law enforcement, in judicial system. It's fucking horseshit because I was suspended for the heinous fucking crime of getting cold cocked.
Amen, brother.
Ended up suing the guy for the medical bills. He made the story that I came at him. By the way, I 5'6", 108 pounds. He was 6'2", at least 180. The judge looked at him and said, "Really? He came at you?" He went, "Well, yeah. He threatened me." The judge just sat there in silence for a good 20 seconds just staring at him. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you. Never paid, by the way. They never paid.
Dickhead.
Yeah, that's my worst high school experience.
That's, it's pretty bad. Yeah, zero tolerance policies are bullshit.
Yeah.
Best high school experience.
It was not the dick bite. Anybody who hasn't heard that story, you really need to go through all of our podcasts.
I did not have a famously good time in high school. Did a little bit of the fighting that Sean got talking about there, but I never got in trouble for it. Played some sports, did some DECA, had like 2 friends the entire time. Nearly got expelled for almost running over a teacher.
Oh, I like that story. That's a good one.
My best friend again, it's about 3 weeks before the graduation thing. If after finals you were done, if after finals you had a note from your parents, you could go home. Just leave.
Cool.
I had my note, and my best friend, as was typical of him, didn't. So he just got in the car and said, well, don't stop to give him, because you turn in your note, you got this little gold ticket. Gave him the ticket at the gate, drove off.
I got a golden ticket.
Right. He said, just don't stop. Just keep driving. I was all right, homie. I guess we're crashing a gate. So I just keep driving. And this teacher, like, gets in front of my car. And I'm like, oh, don't make me do this. So I get around him there. And next day in school, he says, we went to the principal. He's my teacher. I knew the guy. He goes, we went to the principal. He nearly ran me over. I said, so I explained to him the whole thing, tell him, the truth. And he goes, all right, I believe you. No harm done. So he goes to the principal and tells him, it's not a big deal, forget it. And this is when I knew that Craig was my best friend. He goes, I'll take the blame for it. They can expel me. Like, just casual like that,
Huh.
It's like, this guy's going to throw down for me. We're going to be buddies. But, so the teacher comes back and tells me, yeah, it's fine. I pick the guy up. I just get him in the hug. I'm just like, oh, yeah. And he was so afraid that if he touched me, that somebody would think he was molesting me, that he put his hand straight up in the air. He was probably Sean's size, so I just enveloped him and lifted him up, giving him a hug, and he's like, not touching him. It's like, he's not molesting me, I'm just giving him a hug. It's cool, guys.
My best high school experience wasn't any one thing. It was the time I spent in the theater department. We did a lot of shows. They were fun, whatever. It wasn't the shows that were enjoyable. It was the antics in the dressing room and the fucking cast parties. Holy crap. Led to one of my favorite incidences in all of high school. Cast party, we did it after opening night for each show. So it was usually a Friday night. We'd go to someone's house, party. Wake up late Saturday, usually just in time to make curtain call for the next show. We were at the Emmons' house because there were like 3 sisters who had just all come up through the fucking theater program. All of them very, very, very beautiful young women. In different ways, too. You had the curly-haired blonde. You had the one with the straight dark hair and the more hipster kind of vibe. But
Jesus, were they cartoon characters?
no, they were just this weird family of gorgeous women. It's wonderful. So we were there for the party, and the idea was the guys would split up and go to the guys' party, and the girls would split up and stay at the girls' party at about 11 or 12. The time
All right,
came.
can I just say that sounds a little gay, bro?
Well, the time came for that.
Yeah, I ain't fucking leaving.
Well, the guys started to get up and leave, and all the girls went, "Where are you going?" "I'm leaving." They said, "Not you, Sean. You don't count." Okay. So, for anybody who thinks that stories about girls' sleepover parties are exaggerated, maybe they are. Maybe they are. This one wasn't. Fucking 90s and pillow fights, and I didn't have enough hair to be braided, but there was hair braiding going on, and they were very, very attractive ladies and not wearing particularly much. I miss theater. What is your favorite Total War game and or mod for that game?
That's what I love about high school girls, right? Rome Total War. As a matter of fact, in college, me and a good friend of mine used the game to give a presentation to the Classics Club. The History Channel uses it, or used to use it when they would do a thing on Rome. It was that accurate and that good. So my buddy Joe and I just did a presentation using it. We worked it out beforehand, hooked up the required computers, got a game going, and said, all right, I'm Hannibal, he's Rome, let's break, and we could demonstrate to the actual unit the way you deal with war elephants, the way you get him to turn a charge, the whole thing.
Nice.
Yeah. So Rome Total War.
Never played him. Not a big RTS guy. Nope. Favorite Disney movie?
Now,
can we say Avengers? Is that a bullshit answer?
that's a bullshit answer.
Okay.
You know what? For me, it'll always be Hercules because
He put the Glad in Gladiator.
that's right. You know, a lot of the 90s were Disney princess movies.
Yeah.
Did me dick all. I still haven't seen most of them. I didn't see The Lion King till I was in college, and I really think I missed the point because I thought Scar was the hero. 3 reasons. 1, in lions, the darker the mane, that's more testosterone. That black mane of his, he's the more dominant male.
Okay.
2 is it's fucking Scar. I mean, Jesus, kick ass. He sings a song about being prepared. And everybody that knows me knows I like a plan B. And 3, he organized a popular rebellion by inspiring an oppressed minority with the promise that they would not starve to death. Mufasa was committing organized, racially profiled genocide on the hyenas. Spatially profiled genocide on the hyenas. And Scar said to them, you don't have to watch your friends, your children, your loved ones die of starvation in agony in a graveyard if you'll follow me and overthrow the oppressors. Motherfucking heroic. Eat shit, Simba. But no, it's Hercules followed quickly by Frozen because Hercules was the one Disney movie I could identify with as a kid.
Does Pixar count?
Disney Pixar, no.
No?
I don't think so.
I've got to give it to Frozen then.
All right.
I know it's the new one and everybody's like, oh, it's just hype.
It's not hype.
No, I fucking love it. The songs are great. The story broke the mold in a way that kept true to it without being the same fucking shit.
It's just so fucking well made. Now, if Pixar did count.
And Elsa's fucking snow dress when she's in the Ice Queen, fucking gorgeous.
Real talk. Elsa ain't bad on the eyes either.
True enough.
But, okay, so if Pixar did count.
Monsters, Inc.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's better than Toy Story.
I would not say better than Toy Story, but not Finding Nemo?
Finding Nemo didn't really stick with me. The only thing that would even come close to rivaling how much I liked Monsters, Inc. was Up. Because Up was like, oh, look, happy little Disney movie. First 10 minutes, you suffer.
You know what? Up and Toy Story, I want to say 3 or 4, whichever one has them getting abandoned by Andy in the scene with the incinerator.
I think that's 3.
3. They came out in the same year. I want to know what the child suicide numbers are. Because, man, by the end of Up, by the first 10 minutes of Up, I'm sitting there with like a knife just going, I can't do it no more, man. I fucking can't. Like, you could be sitting there doing anything just innocuously, and when you look down after that 10 minutes, you've turned your shoelaces into a little noose. The first 10 minutes of Up is, oh my God. I can't. I watched it once and was like, I'm done.
Favorite DreamWorks movie?
How to Train Your Dragon.
I haven't seen How to Train Your Dragon. So
oh my fucking God.
So I'm going with Shrek.
Shrek is not bad at all, but How to Train Your Dragon.
Now, does someone in How to Train Your Dragon make this face?
Yes, because it's a DreamWorks movie.
I was going to say, because if so, it's not a DreamWorks movie, regardless of what it says. If you could choose a Jedi and or a Sith name, what names would you choose for yourself?
Now, I have a question. What denotes a Jedi or Sith name?
I'm not exactly sure. I know a lot of...
Now, does he mean like a Darth name? Like...
That would be a Sith Lord's name, but if he's referring to the whole Sith culture, back before they did the whole Rule of Two thing, they didn't do that. So I guess just... I mean, there's tons of weird Star Wars-y names.
Well, I mean, there's like this TIE Fighter game. It's a tabletop game.
Yeah.
Well, you play with little figurines and it's like a dog fighting game played on a table.
Yeah.
And a lot of the names of the pilots and shit are like, I don't know, the Empire ones are clearly like evil sounding.
Yeah.
They just have like these really sharp, harsh edges to them.
Mm-hmm.
But they aren't Sith, they're just Empire pilots. So, I mean...
But there's nothing stopping, anybody with any name from becoming a Jedi, so...
well, the lack of midichlorians, or the Force, that's stopping them pretty heartily.
I said anybody with any name. There's nothing stopping... He could have been named P-Blue Fabla Skywalker.
Right. So, yeah, I guess if you're talking about like a Sith name... Darth, the guy who's named after the dragons.
Darth Krayt?
Darth Krayt.
Well, that's sort of taken.
It's a cool name, though.
I don't know if mine's taken or not, but I would go with Darth Vile. Oh, Vile sounds good.
Darth Havoc.
Darth Havoc?
Yep.
All right, that'll work. Banter Guy wants to get a shot, apparently, and asks, what are your thoughts on the modern feminist movement, like pop culture critics such as Anita Sarkeesian?
Now...
Really? You think we're going to walk into that fucking minefield? If you side with her, half of the internet loses its goddamn mind. If you criticize her, half the internet loses its goddamn mind. I'm convinced there's overlap in the middle. I'm convinced there's overlap in the middle where people will just scream at you no matter what you say.
I would like to say this. If Sean wants to edit it out, go nuts. I'm all for a feminist movement of the third wave, which is not the man-hating militia of the second wave and not the we just like to vote of the first wave. It's why don't we all have equality? Because the thing is a lot of the facts and figures that are thrown out there when discussing modern feminist goals are misleading. Mm-hmm. Women make 95% as much as men, and that 5 can be reflected in things like the fact that women are less likely to barter for more money, and they're also less likely to ask for a raise. But men are still required to sign up for the draft. Men still die of cancer in greater numbers. As a matter of fact, as of the time of this filming, less men are graduating college than women. Less men are even entering. But the number one killing cancer on the planet is prostate cancer. Mm-hmm. Now, breast cancer gets all the love because the healthcare industry is intrinsically sexist against men. It prefers women.
That and boobs are easier to put in the media.
Exactly.
Than
breast cancer gets all the attention.
Up your bum.
And the thing is, men can experience breast cancer, but it's become so sexualized that it's a women's only topic. Whereas more men die from prostate cancer than men and women combined die from breast cancer, but nobody wants to talk about that. And to me, that's what modern feminism should be about. It's let's address these topics for everyone. Now, with Anita Sarkeesian, I watched her videos. I understood her goals, and I wanted to learn what she had to say. I thought she never got beyond the surface. It was all topical complaints without any sort of in-depth. She was very happy to point out, oh, look, this character has a pink bow, and that's wrong. Well, why? I know lots of girls that wear pink bows. Somehow, she seemed to equate being a female character with wrong because no one should ever be female. I guess. I don't know. I tried. I watched her stuff. I wanted to get a better understanding.
And I'm certainly not saying, I mean, it's not like women have won all their battles ever. There's still a lot of shit that women have to put up with that they shouldn't. Especially when you go into other countries where women are still treated like fucking property.
Yes, absolutely.
Where young African girls are fucking mutilated because, God forbid, they enjoy sex when they grow up.
Now, conversely, a few African girls get kidnapped, the entire world notices. Let African boys be burned in the streets by the hundreds for months, no one gives a damn because they're men.
I think things have really nothing to do with the true conflicts of the world aren't born from a gender-based thing. The whole concept of a patriarchy, I think, completely misses the point. The people in power have always been the people in power, and it's always been passed down. The fact that they're mostly men isn't because they're men. It's because that's one more avenue they've used to exclude people from having access to the same social power that they do. They don't want anybody to compete on their level, so they will push and manipulate society to be to the point where, I'm sorry, are you not part of the privileged 10,000 people on the planet who truly do have the power to shape an entire nation's decision-making? We're going to keep you out of that group by any means possible. If that means, oh, you don't have a penis, well, that means you clearly can't be entered. I think our problems need to go to more of a class-based issue rather than focusing on either male or female issues. I guess that's Marxism? I don't know. I haven't read the Communist Manifesto.
I have, and just saying that, you know what matters is how people are treated, because if you can look past the gender and say that it's hard to be poor, then there's nothing wrong with that. But
if you're gonna tell me Oprah has it worse than a Serbian man who's going to get drafted into a violent war, a relatively well-off Ukrainian, no, it's not. There are issues where places where gender and race are still huge sources of social stratification, but the racial and sexual or sexual whatever issues behind them are secondary. It is a class warfare. That's what it is. That's what it's been since there was class. Since one guy told another guy to do something and that guy listened. That's what all conflict has been about.
And I mean, if you want to say that Oprah has fewer opportunities now than I do, you're wrong. She's loaded. Doesn't matter. And nothing else matters. Money can make up for everything else. But now you asked about pop culture critics. Are Tumblr in action? All I have to say.
They're not even pop culture critics. They're just...
they're harpies.
Here's the thing. I joined the campus LGBT group. If you haven't figured it out yet, I'm pretty fucking queer. And they did this thing where they asked everybody, what pronouns do you prefer, trying to be tactful about it. 2 people said they don't care. Everybody else said male or female. Nobody made up, I prefer to be called G or Zen or any of those other bullshit pronouns.
Yeah, fuck those people.
Because we're sane people dealing with actual fucking issues in East Tennessee. We don't need to go looking for problems. Once we have our problem solved, you want to know what the vast majority of LGBT people do? They live their fucking lives. People who are looking for things to be upset about are doing exactly that. They are looking for reasons to be offended so that they can be attached to their own victim complexes. That's where these problems come. You can absolutely criticize pop culture and say it's vapid, it dehumanizes people, whatever, as long as you've got something behind it. But when you have to go digging for shit, that's where I think it gets a little crazy.
Yeah. Switching from that, and seriously, fuck you, Banner Guy. Favorite comedian?
Lewis Black.
Lewis Black is phenomenal. Mitch Hedberg, too soon. Died too soon.
I don't know. I think he died. He didn't have a chance to burn out.
And that's fine,
Well,
but
okay.
I think, well...
Different definition of burnout.
I think he still had a few more good years. I think he's a talented comedic voice that... It was his perspective more than anything else. He had a way of looking at the world that I have never seen before or since, and something was lost with him.
I also really like Louis C.K.
Not a fan of him.
You're not a fan of Louis C.K.?
I'm just not. I have a hard time with some of the comedians that work really, really blue, I guess. I mean, I don't mind vulgarity, but some of his stuff, I'm just like, eh.
So you're definitely not a Jim Norton fan.
Not really. I don't even like some of Robin Williams' stuff.
He got pretty raunchy.
Yeah, he did. And to me, there's plenty of funny without going there.
I liked John Panette. Gabriel Iglesias. I like him.
Gabriel Iglesias is funny man.
Jeff Dunham sucks. He's fucking terrible. He's doing hack racial jokes and getting away with it because he has a fucking puppet. He's not funny.
He's a very, very talented ventriloquist, but his material is uninspired.
He is a very talented puppet maker. As ventriloquists go, his technique is not that great.
Really?
No. But he does make his puppets, and he makes them very well. He's good with the artistic aspect of being a ventriloquist. He's not a good comedian. Stop laughing at him. Your opinion is wrong. Tin Plated says so.
Yeah. Favorite actor?
Ooh, you getting tricksy, huh?
See, the problem is I don't know a lot of actors' names. I have such a hard time with actors' names, but I remember the roles that they play.
Okay, well, like what?
Well, mentioned it earlier, the guy that plays the devil on Reaper.
Yeah, he does very good work. I don't know
That
his name.
actor, everything about that guy.
I don't think he can play anyone who isn't either the devil or supposed to be acting like the devil. He might be the devil. Just thinking it's really fun to come up here and pretend to be himself.
He's mighty slick, that's for sure. But yeah, he is one of my favorites. I've liked him every time I've seen him. I always find it to be a pleasant surprise. Samuel L. Jackson, who is in every fucking thing. You know, it always surprises me how many times you'll see actors, huge names, in direct-to-DVD movies.
I think it's because they think, oh, this will be fun.
A lot of times, I think it's because they have a mortgage. I swear I do. I'll see them in something and go, that's a speedboat payment, or, yeah, he's got a couple ex-wives. You know what I mean? Because they got to work, and sometimes a movie where they're on set for a week makes them $500,000. Hell, take that deal.
Yeah.
But
I think I'm going to go with Alan Tudyk. He played Wash in Firefly. He was Steve the Pirate in Dodgeball.
He was.
He was Alpha in
Yes.
Dollhouse. And he was I can't remember if he was Tucker or Dale in Tucker and Dale versus Evil. He has excellent comedic timing, an amazing range. If you don't believe it, watch him play Alpha. He plays someone with convincing split personalities that have been integrated. So he's just this fucking mess of different people all at once. And I just think he does an excellent job, and I'd like to see him do a lot more roles. I don't think he gets the kind of appreciation he should, because people see him and they're like, oh, the guy from Firefly. Yes, he was the guy from Firefly. He did a great job. He's a leaf on the wind. Watch how he soars. He's a good actor, and he needs more. I think he needs a little bit more credit for what he does.
I feel that way about Robert Downey Jr.
RDJ.
You know what? Once you get him out of the coke and dust him off, he is fucking dynamite. You just got to keep him out of the old snowdrift there. But him and Rob Lowe, I think Rob Lowe, or no, you know what? Martin Sheen. If you don't believe me, watch West Wing. Martin Sheen gives a performance that will stop a clock.
Charlie's got tiger blood.
Yeah, well, Martin's got acting ability.
Oh, like acting ability counts. If you could step into the shoes of any pirate from history at any time in their lives, we're talking Blackbeard and so on, which one would you choose and why? Jesus Christ, they all fucking died.
Everybody dies, Sean.
The only one who actually got to retire was Blackbeard.
No, he didn't. They cut his head off.
Yes. Afterwards.
Yeah, that's not a retirement. He got like 2 years of gentleman farming, and they cut his head off.
Yeah.
Henry Morgan. He sacked Panama.
Yep.
Marched overland to sack Panama. I cannot imagine what that must have felt like.
I would probably try to take whichever one had the best wealth and social prestige before becoming a pirate. I'd become them right before they became a pirate, and I would not become a pirate because I played Pirates, Sid Meier's Pirates Gold, and I read the descriptions about what actually befell most of these pirates.
It's not good.
Blackbeard being beheaded, he had one of the good fates. The ones who died on their ship, starving, vomiting, and with their minds ravaged by syphilis, that was a lot more common. Drowning, being brutally murdered in battle, that was pretty common. I don't want that shit.
All right. If we formed a wrestling duo, what would your wrestling names and characteristics be?
Well, my prime characteristic would be that I would never make it past the jobber stage because I would die.
I don't know enough about wrestling to answer this question. I assume I'd swing him around like a club.
Well, if it were a tornado tag, but I mean, if it were tag, you couldn't be in the same ring at the same time. Unless, of course, we were heels, in which case part of our angle would probably be that we'd sort of try to get one over on the ref, and he'd protest, but we'd ignore him because it's getting more pops from the crowd.
I don't know what you're fucking saying, but I'm pretty sure I can swing you like a bat.
And then, of course, there's the question of, what would we do as far as the kayfabe went, and then what would be our shoot things? Like, how would we work into the actual promo? Where would we be in the booking?
Please.
I can't imagine we'd ever get past jobbers just because we don't have the athletic ability and education. Maybe we could do the stage presence and the mic skills, but, I just don't think we have what it takes. So our wrestling names would probably be our real names, and our characteristics would be we never even made it to the curtain jerk. We'd be the dark matches that never got broadcast.
Please don't ask him these questions anymore.
I'm a wrestling fan, by the way.
To answer your next question, most pointless or obvious statement you've ever heard someone say, that
I'm Mark for The Undertaker, damn it.
That he's a wrestling fan did not need to be said.
I don't think that needed to be said.
Answered.
Bullshit answer to your bullshit question. We got to knock some of these out. We're coming up on an hour and a fucking half.
Oh, dear God, I want to go to bed. I've had 2 hours of sleep.
Who is the worst, most arrogant douchebag you've ever met in your entire lives?
Bit of warning, tin soldiers. Don't go to house parties in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. Don't do it. I'm dying. Most arrogant douchebag you've ever met in your entire lives, Twitty. He's the lowest piece of shit I've ever encountered.
I would give it to a guy we call Canada.
Fuck you, Twitty. I hope you rot in hell.
He's one of those compulsive liar types. He's Canadian Special Forces. He's 19, by the way. He already has a PhD. He was enrolled in community college at the time, so I don't know what the explanation was there. He was fabulously wealthy. He only drove a shitty car because he didn't want to risk getting his nice one damaged or stolen because he didn't trust the people in the area. He just spooled out lie after lie after lie after lie after lie, and I could not stand to be around him. And if you called him on his bullshit, he'd just keep spinning more lies. You'd tell him, nobody believes anything you say. Why don't you just tell us the truth and you might make actual friends? And he wasn't even the only person in that little social circle that did it. There's also a girl who claimed to be a Marine but didn't know what her rank was. Said she escorted someone to the Sochi Olympics even though she was only gone for the weekend. And again, I cannot stand those people because clearly they have some sort of fucking mental disorder that leads them to do it. But it's unbelievable the way they'll foist that out into every fucking circumstance. And I think the arrogance comes from, really? Really? You think anyone will believe any of this shit? You are so fucking full of it. Clearly they fucking need help. Because it's beyond just, oh, I make shit up because I'm insecure, and on to the point of a pure fucking sickness where you cannot fathom that nobody believes a word you're saying.
It's going to have... how do you go to a job interview like that?
I don't know. They were enrolled at a fucking community college, so...
As far as Twitty goes, he's dumb as a rock and thinks that he's not. You know what? I don't mind if you're stupid. I swear I don't. If you're stupid and you're honest about being stupid, be stupid. The world's full of stupid people. But don't you ever dare, ever, to be stupid and to try to put yourself above those that aren't and arrogantly think that your opinion, uninformed as it is, matters hard fact. He argued math with Sean one time. He said, I don't think your math is right. And I said, I am sorry. I don't care if Sean told me something that I legitimately didn't believe. I'd take his word on it because it's math. I was spouting pure historical fact, and he's going, in my opinion, that's just not how it is. And I said, your fucking opinion doesn't matter. You don't matter. If it weren't for the fact it's a crime, I would shoot you. As a matter of fact, I've considered it even though it is a crime. 3 hot meals a day and somebody might be my bitch. I'd do it to watch the light fade from his eyes. I want to watch you die. I hate you so much.
Well, we're ending this on a happy note. Let's see. You guys got us ranting about, feminism and the various flaws in modern society. This is all Banter Guy's fault? You may claim to be the banter guy, but I think you're the downer guy now. Look at what you've done to us. Look at what you've done. You've broken us.